Hello fantasy faithfuls and welcome to Lamar Jackson's 2020 Fantasy Snapshot.
Offensive lineman. Jackson. First down, touchdown!
In 2020, the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson will be facing a group of teams that last year gave up 334 fantasy points to quarterbacks, 5th most in the NFL, with 11.5 yards per completion and 25 passing touchdowns on average. Breaking down his passing, we all know that Lamar Jackson's big thing is his points from rushing, but I wanted to focus on his passing trends as they too are very impressive. Well, maybe not the passing patterns as they're very average. He throws more to the short right than left, which is not ideal for fantasy. But when you see 75% in a deep zone, you have to react. This is extremely rare, especially in a zone with 6% of your targets. You see quarterbacks with over 60% if they have 2 to 4% of their targets. This indicates that it's not only his willingness to throw deep, but he's also one of the best in the league at it. The only weak spot in his passing game is the yards per completion to the short left and right. The short middle is again a strength for him, 0.5 yards above the league average. As a side note, he doesn't really have any impactful wide receivers that have high yards after the catch on short passes, so it's almost completely on him. The opponent that fits his strengths the best is the Houston Texans. They gave up 13.4 yards per completion, and opposing quarterbacks had a completion rate of 86% in the short middle zone, so be sure to start him in DFS for that game, unless you start him in all DFS, of course. I would like to take a second to remind you to hit that like button, leave a comment what you think about this video, and subscribe to the channel. I love every interaction I have with y'all, and every little bit helps me put out even more content. Lamar Jackson's one-game floor is 11.4 points and ceiling 32.7 based on all the games he's played in the league. This is the 4th highest floor and the highest ceiling for quarterbacks, but he has yet to stabilize due to the small sample size, so his boom chance is crazy high at 10.3%, while his bust risk is also very high at 7.9%. His touchdown rate last year was 9%, the highest in the league. We should expect some negative regression back to around 6 and 7% for him at least. Based on my market share study, I have him projected for 514 pass attempts and 122 quarterback runs in 2020, which by itself is a crazy workload, but if anyone can do it, it's Lamar Jackson. His interception rate was 1.5% last year, which was the 38th highest in the league. So for a young guy, he's very conservative with the ball and always has his security blanket in Mark Andrews and the dump off to Mark Ingram or whoever's next to him at any given time. And his sack rate is only 7%, so not too bad. And he was, of course, the most usable quarterback in the league. I don't think I need to go much into depth on that one. He had 13 weeks he should have been started, and it's crazy high. The situation breakdown shows that he scores a ton more points at home than he does on the road. You can see that in the usability chart before as well. The bad games are all on the road. He scored more against teams that struggle against quarterbacks, which is not a big surprise, and more against teams below 500. A small indication that he might not have that playoff game in hand, but the regular season is a lock. Lamar Jackson had 60 red zone pass attempts and 26 rush last year, and with those attempts he scored 29 touchdowns, which is fantastic. But it will take a hit with the success rate next year with some negative regression as he's far ahead of the average. And the average risk of him not scoring above 15 fantasy points in 2019 was 1%, which is of course the lowest in the league, 11% lower than Deshaun Watson for instance, and lower than Patrick Mahomes' 3.4% going into last year. Based on his current ADP of 23rd overall and all the numbers in this video, I give him a draft grade of B. So in conclusion, I don't like drafting quarterbacks early, and that is the only reason I have to give Jackson the draft grade of B. 2 rounds later, and he's a freaking A++.
Completion. Here's Lamar on a run.
Jackson himself. Look at him turn back and forth. Oh! He broke his ankles. Now he's got an entourage, and he's got a touchdown.
Hello fantasy faithful, I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to check out more of them right here and here. In case you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a beat.